Thank you so much. We're going to get started. I am Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams, and I'm here today really excited about this initiative that we are announcing. I'm joined by my colleagues in government and those who are part of the community board process. I'm excited we have with us Assembly Member Nili Rosick, Alan Schuman, the Center for the Study and Practice of Social Studies, Association of Teachers in Social Studies, that's a long one. Al Kirkland, Police Athletic League, the PAL. Tremaine Wright from Community Board 3. Tremaine is here. Monifa St. Louis, Boys and Girls High School, Student School, Neighborhood and Community Government. And Sarah Ann's, Generation Citizen. We're here today really to announce the law that has been passed a little while ago, I should say, and really to let our teenagers know we're going to do a Twitter and email and e-blast and really get the information out to inform our young adults that they are now allowed to become members of the New York City Community Board. This call to action comes days before an organizational meeting for young people on Thursday, November 20th at 6 p.m. In the Vann Library at Boys and Girls High School in Bedford-Stuyvesant. I am urging all Brooklynites 16 and over to attend this meeting on Thursday and to learn about how to become involved in the community board this year. Under a new law signed by Governor Andrew Cuomo, borough presidents can appoint up to 2 teenagers over the age of 16 to each community boards in New York City. This is something that I really push while running for office. We can't continue to have our young people feel as though they're not part of the process and that they don't have a voice in how they would like to see their communities thrive and grow. Much of what we do in government and much of what we do in our city is impactful on young people, and they should be part of the process. And this is a great way for them to be engaged. Community boards are the true heartbeat of the city because they are in touch with grassroots priorities more than any other form of government. Community boards have a variety of responsibilities, including dealing with and using zoning initiatives, assessing the needs of their own neighborhoods, and addressing other community concerns. Teenagers give an important role in this process, and we want to continue to see that they participate in it. Any member of a community board would tell you the long hours that they give and volunteering their time is an unpaid position, but is rewarding when you see some of the results that takes place in your community. And so I want to thank those who are here, who have been part of this initiative and moving this conversation forward and really allowing our young people to know that they matter. And that's the most important part of this law that was signed by the governor. It is saying to young people all over the city that you matter. Your voice matters, what you think matters, and how you would like to see your communities continue to evolve matters. And nowhere is that more important than the borough of Brooklyn. When we see so many changes that is actually taking place in the borough of Brooklyn, and this is going to give our young people who are 16 years and older an opportunity to be part of it. And so I want to call up my colleague, my former colleague when I was in the state senate, Assembly Member Rosick. Assemblywoman?
Thank you so much to Borough President Adams, who has stood with us since day one. When a lot of doubters were wondering, curious about this bill, he said, I'm with the 16 and 17-year-olds and has been ever since. It's such a great honor and privilege to be here to announce this new opportunity for 16 and 17-year-olds across the city. I was a young person on a community board, and I know without a doubt the diversity of opinions can only benefit local community boards. And what better way to tell a 16 and 17-year-old that you matter and that you should get involved than to allow them full membership onto a local community board. And that means that kids from Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, and even Staten Island will have a new opportunity to get invested in their local neighborhood and in their local community. I want to thank Generation Citizen and PAL who actually came to Albany to lobby on behalf of this bill, and to Senator Lanza who also sponsored it. This is going to revolutionize the way we think about communities and the way that we think about neighborhoods. And so every 16-year-old, I'm looking at my former self, get involved, call your borough president's office, and definitely sign up and fill out an application because we desperately need your voice in government. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Next year, I'll be eligible on my 16th birthday. We will also join by Community Board, District 2 District Manager, my good friend Rob Parris, and as well as Community Board 16 Chair Betty Wallace. We also want to hear now from Alan Schuman. And please correct my time. Okay.
I will. Hi, thank you, Borough President Adams. So I represent the memory of the last effort by government to actually organize our youth into something coherent and providing them with influence and the kind of support that they needed to do it. It was something called Neighborhood Mobilization for Youth, and it existed in 1961 to 1967. And this effort now that allows our youth in our neighborhoods to organize, to meet each other, to have a place where they can serve, and to get to mobilize their own forces and represent the youth in the community, represents the writing of something that hasn't been going on in our schools and in our communities for 40 years. And that's the recognition that our youth are an asset, that they're a stakeholder in the future, and that they need to be provided with genuine opportunity for influence in all things that concern the future, and they need to be represented at the tables where the future is being discussed and decided and planned. And I want to commend Al Kurland and the Police Athletic League for taking the initiative in this, Sarah Andes of Generation Citizen for providing the kind of youth support around government that operates in our schools, and everybody else in city government, including Assemblywoman Rosick, who championed this bill up in Albany. And now there's an opportunity. So we're calling to all youth in the Brooklyn nation to come on out and serve. And we're going to provide the supports for you to come on out. The meeting at Boys and Girls High School is on Thursday, November 20th from 4:30 to 6:30. We'll be there, and if you're interested or want to find out more, come to that meeting. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you. And Mr. Kirkland from the Police Athletic League, PAL.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Thank you, Borough President. Good afternoon. Again, my name is Al Kurland. I work by day with the Police Athletic League and have spent over the last 8 years all the rest of my hours, including dream time, working on this campaign to try to get teens eligible to serve on community boards. And like Alan, I'm a child or a teen of the 60s, you might say, and was really guided by some of the founding principles of our society. One spokesman was Thomas Paine. And he talked about how it was particularly dysfunctional and odious to be governed by the idea that people that create rules from beyond the grave can continue to govern our lives even after they're gone. And that it's actually the responsibility of every new generation to help recreate the rules that govern their lives, because the future, in some ways, is always now. So in 2007, I was particularly pleased when I was then the director of the Adolescent Services Division of PAL to partner with an organization called Future Voters of America. And what they did is they organized high school congresses from high schools across the city. In that particular year, 300 students came together and actually invented the idea or proposed the idea of having 16 and 17-year-olds serve on community boards. And through the stewardship of then Councilperson Gail Brewer, embarked on what was to become a 7-year campaign to get this bill passed. And as with a lot of things in social justice and civic participation, things wax and things wane. Future Voters became defunded. It was a very small volunteer effort, and PAL shrunk. So we generated new partnerships with Generation Citizen and with Alan's Social Studies Initiative with the Board of Ed. We had Global Kids and the Council for Unity and other groups join with us and continually lobby. As was stated before with Nilly, she helped to organize a lobbying effort specifically in Albany for assembly people that had to be kind of pushed on board to keep it going. And life is funny. What had become a slow and gradual 7-year campaign, in the last 3 months of session in 2014, suddenly took off very speedily. And again, I want to especially thank Nilly, because what I got was she actually set up a tent on the floor of the New York State Senate, and after she successfully had the Assembly pass the bill, on the very last day of session, she was there with her staff lobbying the state Senate committees and the leadership in the state Senate, and would not leave until the state Senate passed that bill. I think it was a margin of 57-2, which is incredible as it is. So there is a saying in the Zulu Nation that we have to be prepared because the future is not out there, the future is actually rushing towards us. And my question is to both the teenagers that might apply for and serve on community boards, but also adult mentors who might serve these teenagers, what is it that we have to look out for as this future rushes towards us? And I would say first and foremost as mentors is that we have to recognize that among many of our teenagers, despite the negative stereotypes promoted in the media and our own imaginations, that we have hundreds of teenagers with extraordinary imaginations that have dedicated thousands of hours of community service to their youth organizations and to their communities, and that they are already a natural base for making a pathway to government at a local level. As the environmental movement would say, think globally and act locally. So it's a golden opportunity to utilize these teens. And I would also say to the teenagers themselves that when you're involved in this type of work, it's not uncommon to go through the dark night of the soul, to encounter doubt, okay, to kind of stop and wonder what you're really doing here. But as Nelson Mandela said in his inaugural address, what we fear the most is not what's wrong with us, what we fear the most of what's great about ourselves. And we should not fear the darkness, but we should welcome the light. So in that note, I want to again thank Nilly and Borough President Eric Adams for shining this light on us. And I especially want to thank the teenagers in Brooklyn and throughout the cities that are about to embark on this great civic journey. Thank you very much.
Very much. Very well. Very well said. Thank you. Tremaine Wright from Community Board 3.
Thank you. I'm Tremaine Wright from Community Board 3, which represents the Bedford-Stuyvesant community in Brooklyn. And I want to say thank you for all of the work that our electeds have done to get this bill passed, as well as the community groups that stood with them and helped push this along. Community Board 3 has been we have been blessed, I guess, to say that we've been partnering with some of our younger members of the community over this past year. For I want to say the academic year 13-14, we partnered with Boys and Girls High School and made sure that their student president participated in all of our community board meetings, and I believe she almost had perfect attendance. And she showed up to our committee meetings and started to get an understanding of what we did and how it related to what's happening on their school's campus. It was a wonderful opportunity for civics to come alive. It was a wonderful opportunity for us to hear what they had to say and for them to understand how their input could come to fruition through city politics and or city initiatives. So seeing a project now become a reality and an opportunity for all of our boards is wonderful. We'd like to, and I challenge all of the students who are not going to actually be on the board to participate on our boards. That's never been denied. Membership is open. You are welcome to attend all of our meetings. You are welcome to participate in all of the committees, and we look forward to partnering with you as members of the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And Monifa St. Louis? She's not here? Okay. Sarah Ann's, Generation Citizen?
It's such a privilege to stand here with so many wonderful partners who aren't only committed to serving as great leaders today, but are also looking ahead to preparing the next generation of leadership. So thank you. My name's Sarah Andes, and I'm the New York City Site Director of Generation Citizen, which is a national action civics organization. And at Generation Citizen, we work to ensure that every student across the United States receives an effective action civics education in which young people learn about government through the process of taking action on local issues that they care about. And we see, and we have seen, this local community board initiative as a natural extension of the work that we're doing in our classrooms. Allowing young people to serve as active members on community boards gives them the opportunity for this real world civics application in which they can learn how the local process works, while at the same time benefiting their communities by offering their own insight, perspective, audiences, networks, and enthusiasm to the communities in which they live and which they love. It has been a privilege, like I said, to work alongside the great people standing up here today. I'd like to thank Assemblywoman Razik for her leadership throughout the entire campaign and for giving us cause to be standing here together. I'd like to thank the Borough President, thank Al Kurland for his leadership and support, as well as Alan Schulman. And I'm looking forward to Thursday, but more than that, I'm really looking forward to what comes next.
Thank you. And we're also joined by my Chief Programming Officer, Sandra Chapman, as well. And we want to have also brief comments from both our community board personnel that's here, Ms. Wallace, and following her would be Mr. Paris.
Thank you, Honorable. I came unprepared, but I do want to say we are in concurrence with, and we meet every fourth Tuesday, at 7 o'clock. And we do welcome the young people. We're trying our best to be models for all of them in Brownsville. Again, thank you. And I concur with everything that has been said.
Community boards are the most local form of representative government in New York City, and for them to be truly representative, they need to reflect the full diversity of the people that live and work in the district. And so, in addition to having people from all geographic portions of the district, people of all different income levels, different races, the new legislation allows us to expand further the age of the members of each community board. And I'm grateful to the state legislature for passing the law and to Borough President Adams for highlighting it. I think the first of all 5 borough presidents, am I correct?
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If there's any questions, we're open at this time. Great. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Just as any other member would, they are welcome to reapply when they turn 18 or when they turn 19, when their term is up.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Good to see you. Good to see you.